In this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 biggest mistakes that course creators make that might kill their sales. These aren't just minor tweaks, these are the difference between a course that flops and one that actually generates positive revenue month after month. When I first started creating courses, I made every single one of these mistakes. My first course took me about 4 to 6 months to create, and I sold exactly like 3 copies in my first month. I was devastated. But after learning what I'm about to share with you, my next course launch generated over $15,000 within its first month. I've seen this pattern repeat over and over again. Course creators who fix these 5 mistakes see their sales increase by a very large percentage, while those who ignore them continue to struggle with low sales and frustrated launches. Here's what we're going to cover: the pricing trap that's costing you thousands, the abandoned cart mistake that's leaving money on the table, the content creation error that nobody talks about, the research mistake that dooms courses from the start, and the perfectionist trap that prevents launches. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's been holding back your course sales and how to fix it immediately. So let's dive right into mistake number 1, the pricing trap that's costing you thousands. The first mistake that's absolutely killing your sales, or basically revenue, is pricing your course way too low. And I get it, when you're first starting out, it feels safer to price low. You think more people will buy, right? But that's wrong. Here's the brutal truth. Pricing your course at $97 or $197 is actually hurting your sales, not helping them. When I first started, I priced my course at $150, and I thought I was being reasonable, being accessible to everyone, but here's what I discovered. It was actually harder to sell that $150 course than it was when I raised the price to $1,200. Now, why does this happen? First, low prices signal low value. When someone sees a course priced at $97, their brain immediately thinks this must not be very good, or what's wrong with it. It's basic psychology. We associate price with quality. Second, and this is huge, it's actually easier to make one high ticket sale than it is to make multiple low ticket sales. Think about it. Would you rather convince 10 people to buy a $100 course or convince one person to buy a $1,000 course? The math is the same, but the effort required is completely different. When you price your course properly, and I'm talking $500, $1,000, $2,000 or more, you attract serious buyers, people who are committed to getting results. These buyers are also more likely to actually complete your course and get transformations, which leads to better testimonials and word-of-mouth marketing. But here's where most course creators mess up the pricing conversation. They don't just raise their price, they also fail to capture the people who almost bought, which brings us to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2, the abandoned cart goldmine you're ignoring. The second mistake is probably the most expensive one on this entire list, and a lot of course creators are probably making it right now. They're completely ignoring the abandoned cart email sequences. Think about this for a second. When someone adds your course to their cart, that is literally one of the warmest leads you can possibly have. They've gone through your entire sales process, they've decided that they want your course, they've clicked buy now, and they've started to check out the process. Then something happens. Maybe they got distracted, maybe they wanted to think about it, maybe their credit card got declined, and so they leave. Most course creators just let these people disappear forever. It's like having someone walk into your store, pick up an expensive item, walk to the cash register, then change their mind and leave. You just wave goodbye instead of asking if there's anything you can help with. Here's what you need to understand. These people are still interested. They just need a little nudge, maybe some reassurance, or perhaps they need to overcome a specific objection. A proper abandoned cart sequence can recover 15 to 30% of lost sales. If you're getting 100 people adding your course to your cart each month and only 30 are buying, that means 70 people are leaving. If you can recover even 20% of those with a good email sequence, that's 14 additional sales that you're missing out on in every month. The sequence doesn't have to be complicated. Start with a simple reminder email after 1 hour, then a value add email after 24 hours sharing a tip related to your course topic, then a final urgency email after 3 days, and that's pretty much it. 3 emails that could literally double your course sales. But even if you nail your pricing and set up abandoned cart sequences, there's still a fundamental mistake that most course creators make when they're actually building their content. And this mistake ensures that even if people buy, they won't be happy with what they get. Mistake number 3, the content creation trap that disappoints students. The third mistake that's killing course sales is not focusing on what problems people actually have in your course. And this one hits close to home because I made the mistake big time with my first course. Here's what happens. You sit down to create your course and you think, I'm going to teach them everything I know about this topic. So you create 47 modules covering every possible angle, every advanced technique, every edge case scenario. You're proud of how comprehensive this course is. Then your students get access and they're overwhelmed. They don't know where to start, they can't figure out which parts are actually important for them, they get stuck in module 3 and never make it to the good stuff in module 15. They don't get results, they don't leave good reviews, and they definitely don't refer their friends. Now the problem isn't that you know too much, it's that you're not focusing on the specific problems your students actually have. Your course should be a bridge that takes someone from where they are now to where they want to be, not an encyclopedia of everything that you know. Before you create a single piece of content, you need to get crystal clear on what is the one main problem that your course solves. What is the specific transformation someone will experience? What are the 3 to 5 key steps that they need to get that transformation? Everything else is bonus material or belongs in an advanced course. Your main course should be laser focused on solving one problem really well. I learned this lesson the hard way, but once I started creating focused courses that solve specific problems, my student satisfaction scores went up dramatically. Happy students became repeat customers and even referred their friends. But here's the thing, you can't know what problems to focus on unless you do research, which brings us to mistake number 4. Mistake number 4, the research mistake that dooms courses from the start. This 4th mistake is the one that dooms courses before they're even created, and it's not interviewing your actual target audience before you build anything. Most course creators operate on assumptions. They assume they know what their audience wants, they assume they understand their biggest pain points, they also assume that they know how people want the information delivered to them. And these assumptions kill more courses than any other factor. Before I started my most successful course, I hopped onto 50 calls to truly understand what problems my target audience was facing. Not what I thought they were facing, what they told me they were facing. I found these people through Facebook groups, my email list, and YouTube comments. I also interviewed friends who I thought would be my ideal target avatar. And here's what I learned. What I thought was their biggest problem wasn't even in their top 3. The language I was using to describe solutions wasn't how they talked about their problem. The format I was planning to deliver the course in wasn't how they preferred to learn. Those 50 conversations completely changed my course. Instead of creating something I thought people needed, I created something I knew people wanted because they told me exactly what they wanted. The interviews don't need to be long, like 15 to 20 minutes each is fine. Ask questions like, what's your biggest challenge with insert topic here? What have you tried that didn't work before? If you could wave a magic wand and solve this problem, what would that look like? How do you prefer to learn new things? These conversations will give you the exact language to use in your marketing, the specific problems to solve in your course, and the confidence that people actually want what you're creating. But even if you do all this research and create the perfect course, there's still one final mistake that prevents most course creators from ever seeing sales. And this mistake keeps more courses locked away in draft mode than all others combined. Mistake number 5, the perfectionist trap that prevents success. The 5th and final mistake that's killing course sales is aiming for perfection before you actually start selling. And this one is personal because I see so many talented people trapped in this cycle. Here's what happens. You have a great course idea, you do your research, you start creating content, and then you think, I need to just add one more module, or I should really create some cool bonuses, or I need to redo that video because I said twice. Months go by, you're still perfecting, still adding, still tweaking. Meanwhile, your audience is out there right now struggling with the problem that your course solves. They need your help today and not in 6 months when your course is perfect. Here's my recommendation, and this might sound crazy, have your course about 20 to 25% complete, then start selling it. I know that sounds terrifying, but hear me out. When you pre-sell your course, several amazing things happen. First, you validate that people actually want it, they're literally paying you for it. Second, you get feedback from students as you create the content, so you can adjust based on what they actually need. Third, you generate revenue that can fund the creation of the rest of your course. Some of the most successful course creators I know launch with just an outline and a promise to deliver modules weekly. Their students loved being part of the creation process, and the courses ended up being better because they incorporated real student feedback throughout the process. Perfect courses exist, but courses that solve real problems and help real people get real results, those exist and they make real money. The students who buy your course don't need perfection. They need transformation. They need someone who can help them get from where they are right now to where they want to be. If you can do that with 25% of your course content, imagine what you can do when it's complete. The truth about course creation success. Look, so I've shared these 5 mistakes with you because I've made every single one of them. I've priced my course too low, struggled to make sales, I've ignored abandoned cart emails and left thousands on the table. I've created courses that tried to cover everything instead of solving specific audience problems. I've skipped the research phase before and built courses that nobody ultimately wanted. And I've also fallen into the perfectionist trap and delayed launches for months. But here's what I learned. Course creation isn't about being perfect, it's about being helpful. It's about taking someone for a transformation journey. It's about your knowledge and it's about your experience and the way that you help get people results. The most successful sellers aren't the ones with the fanciest production or the most comprehensive content. They're the ones who understand their audience's problems, solve that problem, price appropriately, follow up with interested buyers, and ship their courses even when they're not perfect. If you're ready to avoid these mistakes and create a course that actually sells, the first step is choosing the right platform that makes all this easier. For that platform, I recommend Course Creator 360, which you can find in the link down below. It's an awesome course hosting platform that has templates, proven to work templates, and it also saves you a lot of money compared to other softwares that you've used. Now, in the next video, I'm going to be going over how to actually go ahead and get your course started right over here if you want to watch it.